is going on, everybody? We are here with Master Crafted, and coming back from Strat Reserve, we got Matt and Frank. They are going to be going through the second half of this Emperors Children Codex that just dropped, and we're going to be reviewing some of the detachments in there, the 3 we have remaining. We will just dive right in. How are you guys doing today?
Good day.
Good day.
Yeah, exciting stuff. You guys have probably gotten a couple more games since the last time we talked. Hopefully things have been going well with those. We are going to be diving in first, though, with Carnival of Excess. Have either of you had a chance to play that yet?
I haven't actually played it. It was the one I was the most excited about at first, and then they nerfed the hell out of all of the demons, and I kind of lost interest. But I still think it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely does seem interesting. So we'll go ahead and start with the detachment rule. Demonic empowerment. While an Emperor's Children unit from your army is within 6 of 1 or more friendly legions of excess units, it is empowered. While a legions of excess unit from your army is within 6 of 1 or more Emperor's Children's units, it is empowered. So just stay close together. And then while you are empowered, weapons equipped by models in that unit have sustained hits 1. And if such a weapon already has that ability, each time you make an attack, it scores a critical hit on 5 up instead of 6s. How do you guys feel about that as a detachment base rule?
It's real nice for Noise Marines, for sure. You just start with crit 5, so sustained on 5s for Noise Marines, which is kind of cool. It's really the only detachment that kind of helps them out immediately.
Yeah, a little boost to being a little more shooty with those Noise Marines for sure. Doesn't hurt. And then obviously the last part of that detachment rule is instead of the normal 500 points for allies, you basically take up to 1,000 points of legions of excess units from within this book, and you are good to go. Going into the enhancements, I'll start us off with Empiric Suffusion, an Emperor's Children model only. Once per battle round, you can target a friendly Slannesh unit within 6 of the bearer with heroic intervention for 0 CP. That seems like a fairly good strat.
Yeah, it's nice because it works on everything. It works on your demons. It works on your. I mean, it has to go on an Emperor's Children model, but it works on anything within 6 inches of it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Is there any particular tech you're looking at? Is like maybe running that on something and like keeping some fights first demonettes or seekers nearby?
Yeah, I mean, Lucius to me is the obvious choice, but I mean, a keeper or something is nice too. And, someone's expecting to just get away with cleaning something up and then they have a seeker, or I mean, a keeper in them.
Yeah, definitely going to be cracking back hard if you can slip a keeper into that combat and they can't deal with it for sure. Matt, do you want to take us through the next one?
Yeah, sure. Dark Blessing. It's called Dark Blessings. Emperor's Children Infantry model only. Once per battle, just after an enemy has selected its targets, the bear can use the enhancement. If it does, until the end of the phase, the bear has a 3+ invulnerable save. Most of the characters have a 4-up invulnerable save already, so if you really want to make a demon prince with like a flying demon prince with -1 damage a little bit tankier,
Can't do it on a demon prince, though.
Oh, it's infantry. Never mind. This is pointless.
It's useless. It's really useless.
Okay. Yeah, the worst one of the bunch for sure, at least for now. Frankie, do you got the next one?
Sure. Possessed Blade, Emperor's Children model only. At the start of the battle, select 1 melee weapon equipped by the bear. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of that weapon. In addition, each time the bearer is selected to fight, it can use this enhancement. If it does, while resolving those attacks, add 1 to the damage characteristic of the weapon, and it has devastating wounds and hazardous. I love this one. I think it works great on a Demon Prince. It works probably even better on a Lord, in an Infractor Brick. I mean, I like the Infractor Bricks in this army in general, but it makes you real punchy with one of the Lords when you need to be. And it's not like a one-time use thing either, which is nice. So you can just be damage 3 with and dev wounds with a Lord, which is pretty spicy.
Yeah, it's nice that it does give you the option. It doesn't just automatically make you hazardous and give you dev wounds. You can do it, but it has a buff even if you don't. Definitely very nice. And then last but not least, we have the Warp Walker, Emperor's Children or Keeper's Secret model only. Each time the bearer's unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, till the end of the phase, add 6 to the move characteristic of models in that unit. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes a normal move, advance move, or fallback move, it can move through enemy models. When doing so, it can move within engagement range of such models, but cannot end the move within engagement range of them. And any desperate escape test is automatically passed. Very, very wordy for just add 6 to your move, basically, and be able to fall back through models for free.
Yeah. This is an auto take. There's Yeah, you're gonna want this every time you take this detachment. I mean, it can go on so many things and be useful. So it is kind of cool. I mean, if keepers hit as hard as they used to in like the Legions of Excess detachment, this is just amazing. They don't hit quite as hard, obviously, anymore, but still pretty good on one to kind of YOLO it into someone's lines and just be a pain in the ass round one, which is pretty fun. I think I probably like it better on a Demon Prince or Flying Demon Prince, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very there's a lot of tech in this detachments to prevent you from being jailed, which no one likes to be jailed.
Yeah, maybe eventually they'll put an enhancement like this on like the World Eaters Codex. That would be, I'm sure they would be loving
If they
that.
can't get jailed, that'd be huge for them.
Yeah.
Huge.
Going into those stratagems, we have Sustained by Agony. In the fight phase, just after an Emperor's Children unit from your army destroys an enemy unit, target that Emperor's Children unit. You select one friendly Legions of Excess unit within 6 of that unit. One model in that Legions of Excess unit recovers 3 lost wounds. If it is Demonite, return D3+3 models instead.
obviously great for stealing objectives with Demonettes. Anytime you can bring back a handful of OC2 models, it's pretty nice, assuming they survived anyways. 10 Demonettes is not very hard to kill, but if you're left with a few near an objective, you can bring some back and steal that objective before the end of the turn, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it is nice that it can happen in either of the fight phases. So you can even secure your own primary going into your turn or deny it for them. Super huge. That is flexible on both.
This requires some good driving, though. You definitely have to make sure you've got all your stuff in the right spots, which a lot of the stuff in this detachment is. You have to keep the right stuff near the right stuff to get a lot of the buffs and bonuses and be able to use the strats.
Yeah, I feel like this in tandem with the free heroic is actually pretty good, because you can just be like, well, you wanted to kill what was on there. Here's demonettes as well. If you can't kill enough of them, I still just, take the point. Going to be very good combo. Matt, the next stratagem is Static Slaughter.
It says the fight phase just after a Legion of Excess unit from your army destroys an unit, so one of the demon guys. That Legion of Excess unit and one friendly Emperor's Children unit within 6 inches of it that is now within a given range of one or more enemy units. Your Emperor's Children unit can declare a charge. If it does so and it has already been selected to fight this phase, it cannot fight again this phase. So this is one of our good buddies, Bo, has been running Carnival. Like if you have Fulgrim and a Keeper charge a target, and the Keeper kills the target, Fulgrim can then charge again and kill some and attack something. So that is spicy,
It's
like
so good.
it's so good.
This might be the best strat in the detachment.
Yep.
You can also, the other nice thing I like too is like they've got a screen up. You run 2 things forward, clear the screen with one thing, and then charge into whatever's behind the screen that they were protecting. It's very strong.
This is after you charged into them too, so you both charge in. It's
double
good.
charging.
You're double charging with an army that's super
cool.
fast.
Yep.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And it doesn't even have like, unlike heroic, they don't have to be within 6 or whatever. You just go, here you go, try to make the charge. It can, I think definitely a nice to have. And they will be tearing through people's lines, getting across the board.
That's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
The other like kind of spicy thing here is it is not your own fight phase either. So somebody charges into your Legions of Excess unit to tie them up or something, doesn't kill it, they screwed up and you kill it, then all of a sudden you've got an Emperor's Children unit charging on their turn, like unexpected. It's brutal. Like it's really bad. It can be really bad if someone screws it up. This definitely could. This is one of those ones that as a good player, you really need to explain to your opponent every time they charge, or you're kind of being a dick, because this is a huge gotcha.
The worst feel bad of all is heroicing something for free that has fights first. It kills something, and then you have another target for this stratagem that goes and kills something else.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than losing 2 units on your own turn because of these kinds of strats.
Yep.
Holy
it's
cow.
A very good, very, very good strat. Definitely my favorite one in the detachment.
Yeah. All right. And then Violent Crescendo, Frankie, what does that do?
In the fight phase, so either fight phase, one Slannesh Beast, Slannesh Infantry, or Slannesh Mounted unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a pylon or consolidate move, it can move 6 inches instead of 3, or up to 6 inches instead of up to 3. When doing so, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model, provided it ends that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. Very useful as well. 6-inch pylon consolidate's always nice. extra caveat of not having to bump the closest model is also very nice to help you get more stuff into fight. I always, as a big Tyranids player, I love that kind of movement stuff. Extra movement in a pile and consolidate's always awesome.
Yeah. 2 CP, it is a little pricey, but when this scenario comes up, you're still going to be happy to have it.
The nice thing again in this army, I think I said it in the last video, is you have a really good CP farm.
Yeah. And the next way to spend that CP is the Sycophantic Surge. Your charge phase 1 legions of excess unit from your army, so only the demons. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back, provided at least one of the targets of that charge is within engagement range of one or more Emperor's Children units from your army. Pretty good.
Yeah. Advance
Fall
and charge
back
is
and
great.
charge.
Yeah.
Advance and charge. The only thing is you have to have more an Emperor's Children unit already there. Sounds easy enough. I think this army has the speed to get you there.
It can combo nice with the Warp Walker too. So you can, your Infractors can get a turn 1 charge very easily, and they've got like a keeper with that Warp Walker YOLOing up behind them. Then you can just get that extra movement in there, which is nice.
And if all you want's your demon, you could just advance and charge a Rhino.
Yeah, totally.
Model.
Yeah.
Great points. All right. Keeping it going, Matt, with the uncanny reactions.
Alrighty. Your opponent's shooting phase just after they selected a target. One Slannesh units, demon or Emperor's Children. You know, if your army that was selected as a target one with attacks. Until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Basically, stealth for shooting phase. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. If they have rerolls, don't do it, like we talked in another video. But, making a tower guard hit from 4s to 5s can be massive.
Yeah, no, we never like that. Don't do that to us, please.
The guard hates -1 to hit, that's for sure.
Who would have thought? Yeah, solid. Just nice to have it. And last but not least, Dark Apparitions. Frankie.
Sure. At the end of your opponent's fight phase, this is very overcosted for what it is. I'll just say to begin with, 2 CP, 1 Demonette unit from your army that is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Uppy Downy. That's it. It's Uppy Downy for Demonettes.
And they come down. They have 6-inch deep strike on the Downy.
6-inch deep strike coming down.
And they can charge.
And they can, but it is just Demonettes. So
that's true.
It's literally only for Demonettes. It's 2 CP. I think end of the game, if you have extra CP going on, you do this to score points probably more than anything else.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, would you guys have rather just had you pick them up for 1 CP, but they just don't have the extra 6-inch? Like, just that flexibility would have been so much better.
So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be 1 CP, and it should. I mean, even at 6 inches, it should be 1 CP. I don't understand why this one's 2, but
for Demonettes only, yeah, it's not that scary.
No.
Yeah.
If you could take them in 20 bricks, that'd be one thing, but you can't.
Oh man, that would be atrocious. You could just tie up so much shit.
Yeah.
With this, oh man, yeah, not a fan. I don't want to see that one at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've gone through all the enhancements, all the stratagems. What are kind of you guys' base ideas? I know, Matt, you said that Bo has kind of been messing around with this. What are those lists kind of looking like?
There's a lot of play in this detachment because of the access to demons. You can go more demons, less demons. A lot of people are dogging on Fulgrim in this book, but I think Fulgrim does have a place in some detachments. This is one of them. Sustain hits 5 up on Fulgrim is gross. Combine him with a keeper. Keeper kills something, he continues to charge our lines. That gets disgusting fast. Like Frankie was saying earlier, Kako Lords get sustained hits. This is a Noise Marines. 5 up sustained on Noise Marine Brick is brutal into Elite Infantry. So, yeah, there's a lot of play. You can go more keepers, less keepers, more demonettes. So it's not like this is the list, right? You could take Fulgrim, you can drop Fulgrim. So I think that's wonderful for the detachment.
Yeah, I think it definitely enhances those things very, very well. Frankie, anything else you're thinking maybe slips in here as like a strong pick?
I feel like Demonettes are your number 1 choice in here. At least for me, if I was going to build a list for this, I feel like Demonettes are your number 1 choice. They can spread out all over your backlines, buff everything, run up with stuff when you need them to, and buff it. They're also not horrible, especially with sustained hits and fights first. They can be a problem for any screens or anybody trying to gum up your lines. You can clean them up pretty good with Demonettes. To me, that's my list would essentially be close to the same, but with Demonettes for my chaff, which is nice because this army doesn't have tons of chaff.
Nope, no cultists or anything for these boys.
Yeah, definitely nice to have a little bit of trash available for sure, and also some more big demons. I think
Always
that's
fun. Keepers are just. I mean, Mo might disagree with me. He's been playing this, but I think my original idea for this detachment was 3 keepers, and then when the data sheet changed, I was like, ugh, 280 points for T10 with a 4-up invul, and that just dies. Not worth it anymore. They need to come down probably 40 points
Like
at least.
240, 250. That'd be really good cost for them now.
yeah. The feel no pain just was so hard to deal with. That extra 5-up feel no pain just really did a lot of work for them. But this will be something to keep an eye on though. If they do make that drop,
Oh, yeah.
I think the monster mash of a bunch of demons and Fulgrim
And
is
Fulgrim, love it. I
It's
love
so
that.
fun.
That's my kind of thing too. Like I just love that skewy nonsense. It's super fun to play.
yeah. I am not looking forward to dealing with that much speed and melee at the same time. So
Well, there's still
fingers
only
crossed they
strength
stay
8.
expensive for a little while.
Only strength 8 with no wound rerolls, so you don't have too much to worry about from them, I don't think.
They
The
still can
keeper
tie you
kills
up.
the guardsman, and then the fulgrim kills the Dorn.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way
He
to do it.
charges the Dorn 10 inches behind him.
And does an
You know.
extra. I mean, there's some good stuff in here, no question.
Mhm.
It really, it can be.
Yeah. All right. So that is it for the Carnival. Going on to the Coterie of the Conceded. Their
Yes.
detachment rule is pledges to the Dark Prince at the start of the battle round. If your warlord is on the battlefield, you must pledge a number of Slannesh, a number to Slannesh representing how many enemy units will be destroyed this battle round. At the end of the battle round, if the number of enemy units destroyed this battle round is greater than or equal to your pledge, you gain a number of pact points equal to your pledge. Otherwise, you do not gain any pact points this battle round, and your warlord suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Yes.
And then for Emperor's Children units from your army, they gain a bonus depending on how many pact points you have gained over the course of the battle. If you have gained 1, you reroll hit rolls of 1. If you have gained 3, you reroll wound rolls of 1. And then if you are at 5, you have lethal and sustained 1 abilities. And then if you have hit 7 pact points, it is critical hits on 5s. You get spicy with this detachment. You do
Yes.
not want to have a ton of trash units sitting in front of this detachment. I feel like it is going to be way too easy for them to rack it up. And if they rack them up, I don't think they have a problem killing tanks anymore.
No, there's a full rerolls to hit strat in this detachment too. So in my last game, I've really been enjoying this detachment. It gives you like another whole thing to do that's super fun, and you can definitely screw it up. It gives your opponent some agency too, which is kind of fun, and like, but it also can kind of screw them. They're like, oh, I don't want you to kill my units, so they hold back. There's a lot of layers of fun stuff you can do. But yeah, you give a demon prince the full rerolls. Even though they hit on 2s and at 1 you're rerolling 1s to hit already anyways, and you just reroll everything that's not a 5 or a 6, and you're murking some stuff. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it does seem super interesting. The fact that you have to declare it at the start of each battle round, I feel like going second, it's kind of that weird, kind of give and take that we always talked about with orcs, where you are just, can I walk? Can I not walk? Because your opponent has so much information going first. And when
There
you
are
tell
some
them,
things to help with that we'll get into later in the detachment. Yeah, I love this detachment. Really, I think it's a ton of fun. And it's also another one that's really great for noise marines. Even though I never run more than 1, but like having them reroll 1s to hit and wound is really nice. The character hits on 2s already. The sustained and lethal doesn't help them. That's melee only. But yeah, if you make it to 7, you've got crit 5s or rerolling 1s on both sides. It's very spicy. I've used it twice, and I've gotten to 7 both times. The first time was against Grey Knights, and I didn't get there till the very end of the last turn, so it didn't end up helping me at all. But last game I played was just a bloodbath with Necrons, just plucking characters out of units because everything has precision. Just YOLO'd a unit of infractors. They took 2 guys out of units, and then I killed the third one, used the strat to bump my pack points up. I think it's a lot of fun. You can really do a lot of cool stuff.
yeah, definitely nice to have another little mechanic to play around with as well. Always a fun time. Diving into those enhancements, first up we have Pledge of Eternal Servitude, an Emperor's Children model only. The first time the bear is destroyed, take a leadership test for the bear at the end of the phase. If that test is passed, set the bear back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range. of one or more enemy units, and with D6 wounds remaining up to its max wounds. So you can't overcap it. Pretty good.
Yeah, you want this on your Demon Prince Warlord, who's lone op, walking Demon Prince Warlord who's lone op, because you don't get any of these. Well, you get the buffs, but you can't earn points unless your Warlord's on the battlefield. That's the toughest, most survivable thing you can have. It's also kind of awesome because the Demon Prince fights on death and gets back up. Then you kill him again and he fights on death again. There's no caveat on the Demon Prince datasheet that says the fight on death is only once. So you can double fight on death with it maybe, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, I think you're always gonna take this on a walking Demon Prince.
Yeah, this is a detachment you never take Fulgrim in. Never. Because he has to be your warlord.
Yeah. I think that's some great tech. Getting to fight on death twice that's some lines of the Emperor bullshit, kind of stuff we're talking about sneaking in here. Very, very good, and always happy to see something like that if you're a Emperor's Children player, because that is very strong, and people are not going to want to have to deal with that. And it is nice that it's at the end of the phase. You can't just kill him, go, oh, you got your wounds back, let me just kill him again. So that is the right way to do it. All right, Matt, moving on. Pledge of Dark Glory.
Emperor's Children model only, while the bear's leading unit improve the leadership and objective control characteristics of models unit by 1. It's not bad. I could see, Lord with Interfactors maybe, if you want a hell of a lot of OC. There's some OC3 Wolf units, Wolf battle line coming out supposedly, so maybe you can use that to compete against things with high OC like that.
Yeah. And if I'm not
I
mistaken,
believe it's only 10 or 15 points for this too.
I thought it was 30 in the book. That maybe they dropped it already, because it seems
it's not worth 30.
It's not worth 30. That's for sure.
Maybe it's 25. I don't remember what it is, but if I had the points, I would take it. But it's like a last sort of for me. There's other better stuff in here.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of better, why don't you go ahead and read us the Pledge of Mortal Pain, Frankie?
This isn't one that's better, but I will. Emperor's Children model only. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches of and visible to the bearer. That unit must take a leadership test, subtracting 2 from the result if it's battle shocked. If failed, that enemy unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. Yeah, it's all right. I kind of like it on a flying Demon Prince who's already going to slam into you with a bunch of mortal wounds, so it's some extra mortals on top of that, which is kind of cool. Another one. This one, I'm not sure. I would make room for it. I don't know. It's all right though. It's not bad.
Yeah. If you have the points though, you're probably still leaning on this over the Dark Glory.
Yeah, most likely. Your stuff doesn't last long enough for OC3 to really matter that much, you know?
Yeah.
If you're charging something, you're hopefully killing it, and then you steal the objective, and then your stuff just dies. So yeah, the glory, I don't know. And this one also, not so sure.
All right, and then last but not least, the Pledge of Unholy Fortune, an Emperor's Children model only, once per turn, just after making a hit roll, a wound roll, or a saving throw for a model in the bear's unit. If the bear is not battle shocked, it can use this enhancement. If it does, treat the result as an unmodified roll of 6 instead.
Fate dice. If you're flipping to a 6, and you can do it, it says per turn, so you can do it for a wound, and you can do it for a save when you get charged back. I take this on a Flying Demon Prince as well. Absolutely love it. They're already -1 damage. You're making an auto save here. A Lancer shoots at you or something, and it literally can't kill you. So even if it rolls max damage, it cannot kill you. If it hits and wounds with both, you fail a save. The nice thing is it's after you roll on this too, so you fail a save and you're just like, nah, never mind. It's pretty sweet.
Yep. Yeah, and it's also just nice, make sure you get extra wounds through.
Yeah.
Who can complain?
You're only strength 8, so it is nice.
All right. Moving into the stratagems, protections of the Dark Prince. When any phase just after a mortal wound or attack is allocated to a model in an Emperor's Children unit from your army, you target that Emperor's Children unit, and until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a Feel No Pain 6-up and the Feel No Pain 4-up against mortal wounds. Can't complain about that.
There's time and a place. Yeah, there's time and a place for sure for this. You really, really need something to survive. You throw that on there. It's 2 damage from something going into your infractor brick. Maybe you throw it on there and it takes a few more hits to kill guys. You've got 3 wounds left on your Demon Prince and somebody tank shocks it. That's a good time to use it. I mean, there's there's definitely time and a place. You're not using this one every turn, but it's good when it's good, and
Yeah.
it's nothing special really, but
Yeah,
it's good when
if anything that can spam out dev wounds, it's just 4-up feel no pain. Always great to have in the pocket for sure.
You don't even have to use it until mortal wounds actually given to you.
which is nice. Yeah.
So if you play against Bile and they suddenly spike 5/6 on that Super Lord, it's like that's all dev wounds. So I guess I'll do a 4-up feel no pain now.
Yeah, for a CP, very.
CP,
That's probably like the max use time for that strat. Like
Right.
you are getting insane value for 1 CP right there.
Yeah, but you know the number before you decide to spend it. So
Yeah, will this kill me? No. Will it? Oh, damn. Yep. Better
no,
pop
maybe
it.
I should use it.
For sure. All right, moving on. Unshakable opponents. Matt.
All right, in the command phase, so anyone's command phase, one Emperor Shield unit from your army. Till the end of the turn, each time a model and unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the following: the ballistic skill, the weapon skill, the hit roll, or the wound roll. There's a lot of stuff that modify weapon skill, hit rolls, and wound rolls. So when it really matters, you need something to die, and they have -1 wound, like Death Shroud Terminator or something like that. Like, here you go, go into them.
Yeah. Always.
Your strength is never going to be higher than the
No.
death strike. I mean,
But if it's Typhus, at least have a -1 hit, and if
I'm
it's
just kidding, yeah,
Contagion,
demon. Yeah. And a demon lord or a demon prince, I mean, you're 3 damage into them. So yeah, get rid of that -1 to wound is real nice.
and -1 hit from like Typhus too, so that's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, just for an army that like you guys have been saying, it is a scalpel. You need to go out and you need to kill things. Having something to ensure you can do it against those tougher, units that have a lot of mods that are really going to slow you down. Very good for 1 CP. It's going to be a spammable thing in some.
Oh yeah, I could. That thinking about it now, this into Death Shroud Terminators with Lucius is like
It's amazing.
Is gross. Dude, that's so good.
And then like every Ultron player you're gonna play against has the Calgar Company Heroes brick, -1 to wound.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge when you want to try to kill Calgar and that unit. So
yeah, precision him out with Lucius, ignoring all the penalties with full rerolls on both
got
sides.
a dang 4-up feel no pain with
I know.
but you can try.
God, I hate that unit so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate that unit.
They are a tough nut to crack, that is for sure. Moving on into Embrace the Pain, Frankie. Is this one of the ones you're spamming?
I love this one. I love this one. This is the old Blood Angels Sisters trick. This is a good one. Start of the fight phase, 1 Emperor's Children infantry unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model within engagement range of your unit selects targets, it must select your unit as the target of its attacks, which is great. Heroic some tormentors into something, some garbage unit you don't mind getting rid of. It touches, it spreads out and touches basically a whole other unit. Shit, all of a sudden my infractors live and 5 tormentors die instead of 10 infractors and a lord. I love this strat. It's really annoying when you play against it, like in Blood Angels or Sister. Does Sister still do that? I don't even know.
I don't know, yeah.
But it was a thing for a while, and it was super annoying, and it's still super annoying. But you get to do it now, which is fun.
Yeah, definitely a pain in the ass. A good heroic, or even if they just double charge things because they totally forget. Brutal. Yep. Kill my trash.
You better remind them though if they totally forget.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Moving on, we got Martial Perfection in the fight phase. Either players, 1 Emperor's Children unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. This one, Frankie, you were talking about. You love this one. Who doesn't want to re-roll their hits?
Full rerolls to hit. You just can't go wrong with it. Once your buffs are going in this detachment too, it's just insane. You're taking units that kind of do some damage and they're devastating stuff, which is amazing. You get sustained and lethals on your infractor brick, which once you're that high, you're just re-rolling everything that's not a 6 against basically everything for the lethal and sustained. And yeah, you mop some stuff up, even some hard targets. You're only AP1, but 47 attacks, that volume, even against 3-ups and stuff, is pretty spicy.
Yeah, like at a base level, it's good, but if you are at like full pack points, this is just such a win harder strat. Yeah, like, you are just mopping the floor with people. If you have crits on 5s and you pop this, holy cow, nothing is going to stand in your way.
Nothing. You get to feel like an Iron Storm Space Marine for a minute.
The way that I've used it the most, just now that I have a few games with this detachment in practice, is turn 1, you're really trying to get as many of these pack points as you can. I'm usually pledging 2 against most armies, unless somebody has a ton of scout units, then I'll pledge 3. So I pledge 2, I YOLO up an Infractor Brick with the Lord. They run into a big group of something that has a character or 2 in it. You proc the full rerolls. You pluck out a character or 2, maybe kill the unit as well. You get 3 chances to farm a CP. You farm those CP. You spend whichever one you farm on the next strat coming up here. So you can move your pack points up to 3, which is nice on turn 1, because then battle round 2 you're rerolling ones to hit and wound, which is really...
Yeah, that is some spice to be popping off that early and really start racking up those pack points.
And in this detachment, like, you don't mind trading down necessarily, especially turn 1. I'm happy to throw away a Lord and an Infractor Brick if it gets me 3 packed points.
Yeah, and then going on to the one you were just talking about, the Armor of Abhorrence.
No, Unbound
Arrogance.
Oh, Unbound. Oh, yep. One too far. Yep, that one.
Somebody want to read it? You want me to read it?
I got it. Your shooting phase or fight phase just after Emperor's Children unit from army destroys a unit. Target that Emperor's Children unit. You increase your pledge by 2 Slannesh by 1. You can only use it once per battle round, so you can't chain it on each player's turn.
Yep. So
Pretty-
you do this right after you kill something with your infractors or tormentors. You've already hit your 2 that you pledged. And as soon as you kill a 3rd unit, your guys are like, "Oh, I meant 3. I meant to say 3. We cool with that, Slannesh? Yeah, I meant 3." And then you get 3 packed points instead of 2, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I probably use it almost every turn.
Yep. I do like that it does, it has a stipulation you have to have already killed something else.
Yeah.
You can't just be sitting there passively racking them up and being uninteractive.
That would be lame.
You don't want to do that anyway as an army, but like you still have to go get something. There is some counterplay. You can say, well, I'm going to hang 1 unit for the Emperor's Children to come get. I know they're going to stack another one on there, but I at least can deal with something,
If you kill 1, it doesn't help you any, right? So like you pledge 1, you kill 1, it doesn't help you. You pledge 1, you kill 2, then it helps you, which is nice. So it mitigates some of the risk of the gamble you're taking at the beginning, which I think is a big deal a lot of.
All right, and then Frankie, last but not least, the Armor of Abhorrence.
Also known as Armor of Contempt. Literally the exact same rule, shooting or fight phase, reduce the AP of your opponent's attacks. Again, it's only 1 activation now, even though the rules don't actually say that, but it's overwritten by the rules in the data slate. So 1 activation, very, very helpful. Honestly, you've got, the way I have been enjoying running this is with lots of 2-up saves. So Demon Princes, Lucius, you can make them save on 2s and 3s against 90% of stuff in the game, which is really awesome. And it's so much better than that once a game 3-up invuln in the other we were talking about, because it's just so much better. And yeah, I use this one almost every turn as well.
Yeah, it's just 1 CP with stuff as you were talking about with a 2-up save. It just, oh man, it can be brutal against so many things. Just keeping it as a nice easy save and not even hitting a 4-up. For sure. All right, and you did touch on it there, so we might as well dive on in. Some of the other things that you are taking when you're running this detachment. What are they?
I'm taking, right now I've been running 2 big Infractor Bricks in Rhinos with Lords, so they can one of them can YOLO turn 1. I don't feel that bad about throwing away 40 points. It has, you scout move the Rhino, everybody gets out, runs forward. It's like a 34-inch threat range or something. It's pretty nice. Kill as much stuff as you can, get those packed points running. And then my last build, I had 2 flying Demon Princes, one with Flip It to 6, which is really good on them, and then a regular Demon Prince, which was my Warlord with the Get Back Up, and then Lucius, because he's awesome, and I think you should have him in every detachment probably. And then 2 units of Tormentors, because they're also just amazing, and 2 Huntsmen. We talked about this last time. If you're running a take all comers list, which I don't particularly like to do, but if you are, you kind of need them because armor can just run you over if you're not careful.
Yeah, it definitely seems like your opponent really needs to be conscious of, like, can't be feeding you extra things at any point in time, because as soon as you hit those last 2 buffs, it's just brutal.
And so far it hasn't been a problem. Honestly, I was a little worried that there's too much agency for your opponent, but it's either they give you stuff or they don't score primary. I mean, if they're gonna, all your stuff is, most of your stuff is hard hitting stuff is infantry or moves, and everything moves really fast. So even the monsters can get around terrain. They kind of have to hand you stuff or they just automatically lose on primary. And it's, oh, I didn't get my buffs, but I beat you by 50 points. Like, you have to do something.
Yeah, I think this detachment, especially if it gets to go second, I think that's just one of the best case scenarios because your opponent has to try to give themselves a primary advantage before the end of the game. So they have to come out and you just go, okay, let me just keep scooping this up because you're going to have to try to pressure me. And oof,
Yeah, I do
brutal.
think it also functions very well going first, honestly, just because the infractors can be so fast coming out of a Rhino. You can really get into any, and I have 2 units of them, so one's on one side of the board and the other's on the other side of the board. They can, yeah, I mean, even if they're just cleaning up a screen, I don't care that much, It's they're there to get me up to 3 pact points if I can get there turn 1. Happy with 2 as well, but
Yeah, this is one of the few times I don't even know if I put my ratlings out in the
yeah,
middle of the board. Like I'm gonna seed the middle until I can control a little bit more of what's gonna be where and really know where the flow of the game and how far you can really reach with those units and
yeah, and I
probably
think
just have to
ultimately
lead with
that
my
is the
dorm.
way. Yeah, that's the way to play it, I think, which if you're playing against this, you need to be really cagey because as soon as you get up to 5 packed points, you are a beat stick with everything. And once you hit that 7, I mean, anything kills almost anything, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, what is like? Let's say you're playing this. What would be like the bare minimum unit it would take to kill Canis once you hit 7 points? Like the amount of punch up
That's
you have.
Yeah, once you're at 7 points, yeah, Canis is in deep shit because he only has a 3-up save.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like what would be the smallest unit you think could probably bring him down once you get
smallest. 6-man Flawless Blade would do it.
yeah, I mean, they already do it
And the
in
other
one
one,
of the other
Peerless Blades, or
detachments.
whatever.
Fearless, they do it, yeah. Well, he has a 6-up no pain. I think average math, you leave him on 2 wounds. But yeah, in this detachment, with the lethal 5s and full rerolls to hit, yeah, they
Yeah.
just mop him. It's not even.
Any of the big melee units, like 10-man Infractors with a Lord, 6 Flawless Blades, that'll take him out with the 5-up lethal and sustain full at rerolls. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's over.
I got to there in my last game, and the Demon Princes on 6 swings were doing 9 wounds to things a lot of the times. And they're AP2, but like if you have the other Demon Prince nearby, they're AP3. Lucius, he actually died to a tank shock early. It was kind of funny, but just thinking about him in there at like AP4 with lethal and sustained 5s, it's just near a Demon Prince.
Yeah, it's definitely gross. I am, man, just more reason I feel like whole spam and I just go back to 18
Yeah.
Bulgrin and say fuck it,
Yeah, it's a fun detachment to play, and yeah, stuff like Bulgrin. I mean, most of my stuff's 1 damage. I think Infractors actually kind of fuck Bulgrin.
Probably,
I don't
but
know.
it's at least
Sort
like
of.
T6.
They're T6, C1 on 5s.
Yeah, the Lord wounds him on 2s though.
They'll do 1 damage, which sucks.
Down to yeah, in this detachment for sure. There's no way to get him up to 3 damage in this detachment.
So whenever viewers you play against Emperor's Children, you'll look at this rule saying, "Oh, I have a lot of agency if I go first," like we were talking about. But I just played for the first time this week, and when you put units models just in like the central staging room on most deployments, and you measure how far that unit can hit, like every single no man's land objective is within reasonable reach of
Yeah.
most units. It's like,
I mean, if it's search and destroy, forget it.
like, dude, you can literally touch the entire no man's land from a central staging ruin comfortably.
Yeah.
It's not a long charge. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
that is brutal. I didn't even think about search and destroy yet for this particular.
Yeah.
RMO day 1, I was like, if I had children, dude, nowhere
No,
safe.
I was exact same thing. I mean, I still got there I was running Shadow Legion. They still got there, but like, yeah, the Empress. I wanted Emperor's Children so bad.
I know, dude. It's like, you're home. I can hit your home from no man's land. This is great.
Yeah, insanely fast, slap insanely hard, and if you get those buffs stacked, it's just over. I am excited to see that one on the board. I'm definitely gonna have to get some reps into it against you guys because, man, you need
run a lot of tanks. That'd be an interesting matchup, actually. I think you run a lot of tanks and Bulgrin. I think that would. It might be a tough matchup for us, honestly.
It'd be very hard for children. Very hard for children.
We'll see. As long as I'm not throwing my guards, I'll just leave all of my guardsmen standing on my back line.
Yeah, just all the way in the back of the board. No screens.
No screens. You come charge my Dorns. You try to deal with them with none of the buffs. Man, And then you just put 3 demon princes in and pop it anyway.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean, they do the flying demon princes unhurt do an average of 5 mortal wounds on the charge, so it's a spicy.
It's a great start for cracking any tank open, or really any unit. Who doesn't love 5 mortals? So all right, the last detachment for today, we got Slanesh's Chosen. All right.
Disclaimer. Womp womp. Disclaimer: if one of you guys find a way to make this detachment go, let us know, because I don't see it.
Man, I was thinking about like full demon prince spam in this detachment, but it's like just the time. Well, we'll read the detachment rule, and you'll see why it doesn't.
All right, so yeah, the detachment rule: internal rivalries. Emperor's Children character units from your army can ignore any and all mods to their move characteristic and any or all mods to advance and charge rolls made for them. At the start of the battle, your warlord's unit is your favored champions. The first time in each player's turn that an Emperor's Children character unit from your army destroys an enemy unit, after resolving all of its attacks, that character unit becomes your army's new favored champion, replacing the old one. Each time a model in your army's favored champion's unit makes an attack roll, you can re-roll the wound roll. That is some convoluted ass shit.
Yeah, you gotta kill. Once you kill something, after you kill it, you're allowed to reroll all of them.
And in an army, that when you hit your target, you probably aren't surviving the next turn, so it's useless.
The timing of it just needs to be different. There needs to, I don't know.
So Phil and I have done a little theory crafting, at least, and I think it should be changed to, at the start of every battle round, you just pick one of your own units to be the favored for that round, and then it would just work
much better. Yeah.
Yep, and you can only do it to each unit once per game, which is fine because again, they're gonna go out, they're gonna just die anyway.
That's actually would take this detachment from being absolute trash to probably being very good.
Because like we were talking about, we struggle into tanks. If you suddenly have a full wound reroll unit that you can show punch up with, now like you could have agency to control which one that is. You could surgical strike things that normally Emperor's Children would struggle to go into.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work that way. So
it doesn't. Not. That's hopefully the future of this detachment.
Yeah, but they will realize that this has no one playing it, and for good reason. Yeah, but we'll see if any of this stuff that is existing does work, and is something to maybe look forward to if changes like that do come along. The first of the enhancements, Eager to Prove, an Emperor's Children model. Only you can reroll charge rolls made for your Bears unit, while the Bears unit is your favored champions. Add 2 to the move characteristic of models in that unit.
Fantastic.
It's you put on your Warlord because that's probably the only unit that's going to get it.
Yep.
In the current state. Like if it was changed to you pick a unit to start the battle round. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Flying Demon Prince was +2 to move to start the game. Cool. That's pretty badass. Or that Infractor Brick to start the game with the extra 2-inch movement takes your threat range to 36, which is
and
great.
the reroll charges, reliably getting places, huge. Yep. Would be great if you got to pick.
And then this detachment, this is a fitting name, enhancement, Repulsed by Weakness. That is this detachment. Emperor's Children model only. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, within the engagement range of the bearer's unit falls back, they must take a desperate escape test. When doing so, if the bearer's unit is your armor's favorite champions, subtract 1 from each of those test rolls. Can't fall back from me, or you die. And I don't know. Your favorite champion's probably dead anyways, so.
I mean, again, right? It would be one of those things where it's at least nice to have, like if you're in a situation where you're really not looking to charge. If it worked the other way and you go, oh, my opponent's turn is next, I did get into, something big. I'm going to make them do desperate escape tests on maybe like some Terminators or something that are just dead if they don't, if I get a fight first. Then it actually works. Then it does something. Right now, it does nothing.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah. All right. Frankie, with the Proud and Vainglorious.
Yep. Another very useless one. Emperor's Children model only. You can reroll Battle Shock and Leadership tests taken for the Bears unit. While the Bears unit is your army's favored champions, add 1 to the OC characteristic of models in that unit. Whoa. Okay. I mean, there is a use case there, I guess. You go kill something with your Infractors, and I mean, you're already OC2. I don't know. I don't see taking it. I mean, I don't see taking this detachment ever, so I'm definitely not taking that enhancement.
Well, trying to keep it in the scope of if it had a rule,
Yeah,
it would definitely go on a trash unit, though. I do agree, because even if you lose a couple, you bump it up to OC3. after they go kill something, you still steal it away. Great. If you got the points for it. It doesn't seem like an auto include of things in here, but it's got some play. And then last but not least, Slayer of Champions, Emperor's Children model only. The bear's melee weapons have the precision ability, and each time the bear makes an attack against a character unit, improve the strength and AP by 1.
Yes. Obvious use for this is on a Demon Prince, especially as you'll see later, there's a way to get 1 more strength, so you can make your Demon Prince's strength 10 with this enhancement. They're also pretty much the only thing in the army that doesn't have precision, so you can give them precision and get them up to strength 9 or even strength 10, as we'll see later. Yeah, probably the best enhancement in the detachment.
Yeah, and it, believe it or not, it's one of the only ones that doesn't have anything to do with being favored. It just is good.
Yep.
Who would have thought? Yeah. All right. Moving on to the stratagems, we have devoted duelists. In the fight phase, either yours or your opponent's, 1 or more Emperor's Children character units from your army that have not been selected to fight this phase. Select 1 enemy unit until the end of the phase. Melee weapons equipped by models in those character units have sustained hits 1 while targeting that enemy unit.
Yep. The gangbang strat.
Yep.
Gangbang strat. So just really, really, really going to be dead, whatever you charge, if you use this strat.
You guys will see that every stratagem in this detachment is children character units only. So your character spamming this list, like three Conquer Lords, 3 Lords, 3 Lord Exaltants, 3 Demon Princes.
Yeah. Well, and I remember like when Custodes dropped their book and like Auric Champions just just didn't really do anything. It feels very similar to that, if not worse, is just kind of where this is sitting right now. But we'll keep moving on. Beautiful Death, the stratagem. Matt, do you want to read that out for us?
Sure do. For 1 CP, fight phase just after an enemy unit selects the targets. You pick one of your Emperor's Children character units from your army that was selected. Until the end of the phase, it's basically fight on death on a 4-up, and you add one of those roll if you're favored. So that could be, actually you get to use something after you kill some against the melee army, you can kill the enemy, then you become favored, and wow, you have 3-up fight on death.
Yeah, 1 CP for a 3-up fight on death is very good.
That's
sure.
not bad.
In a melee army.
Yeah, provided it has survived killing the first thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Against like only melee army, fantastic.
Yeah, definitely one of the most useful for sure on a favored target thing for sure. And then up next, Frankie, we got Heightened Jealousy.
I think this is probably the best strat in the detachment, the one you probably get the most use out of. Your shooting phase or the fight phase just after an Emperor's Children character unit becomes your army's favored champions, or just after your army's favored champions unit destroys an enemy unit. That caveat is very key because your army's favorite champion unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in an Emperor's Children character unit from your army that is not your army's favorite champion makes an attack, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack. This is very good. Yes. So your favorite unit goes in, kills something, the entire rest of your army gets +1 strength. Pretty good.
Yep. Yeah.
When an army's all strength 4.
It is very
really
nice that it has the caveat, right? After just something else becomes your favorite champion. Otherwise, this one, again, would just be completely useless.
And this is the only way anywhere in the entire book that you can get any of your melee shit up to, but besides Fulgrim, sorry. Get your melee and smaller fiends, I guess. Anything that I take. The only way to get it up to strength 10 is with this.
Yeah, and even then is 10 enough sometimes, but you'll take what you can get. Yeah, you'd rather just have lethals and sustains, right? Who needs strength 10?
I would, yeah. Especially with rerolls, right? I do like this strat, though. This strat, I think, works well with this detachment. It's one of the few that's written well for them.
Yeah. Does the thing, does it well. That extra, it hits a lot of breakpoints, just throwing some +1 strength around the rest of your army.
10 Meltas on your Precision Tormentors unit is nice, because it's shooting or melee, so.
Yeah. Very nice. Moving along, we have Diabolic Majesty. In your shooting phase or your fight phase, just after an Emperor's Children character unit becomes your favorite champions, flowing right along the same as the last one, that Emperor's Children unit and each enemy unit within 6 must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. You can only use this once per battle round.
So you go in, murder something, flash your boobies at everyone around you because you're so proud of yourself, and they all have to take a battle shock test.
That would be pretty shocking.
It's pretty bad.
The timing sucks. If this happened in like your enemy's turn somehow, it's way better. but it doesn't happen in your enemy's turn. It happens in your turn. So
Yeah, because
Like,
even
as soon as
if
it
you battle
switches back
shock,
to their turn, they unbattle shock and still score all their points.
yeah, if there was a lot more battle shock benefits, within the detachment of going after things that were battle shocked, then maybe. But as it is, this just doesn't really do much unless there's a very key scenario where you need to hold something by the end of your turn, and this is the only way to do it.
Yeah, you can maybe use it to get a cheeky cleanse somewhere. That's
it
all.
needs to be their command phase, and it would
Yeah,
actually be pretty good.
it would be a lot. It would be so much better if it was on their turn, but it's not. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that would work just so clean. It actually do something, right? If it's in their command phase, you can just do it on your favored, on your favored champion. They just do it, same range, same everything, and it can just
yeah,
actually
you could
deny
word it like the
damage.
one in Peerless Bladesman, where like you still have to kill something, and then in their command phase, if anybody within 6 inches of the unit that killed someone has to take battle shock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whoever wrote this detachment was too busy just, throwing out more DACA, and then he just kind of threw some stuff in here, and they didn't really balance who got what. So,
Yeah, sounds about right.
yeah. All right, moving on. Matt, we have refusal to be outdone.
It says, yeah, your charge phase, select one Emperors Children character unit from your army. Select one unit within engage range or one or more enemy units from your army. Till the end of the phase, each time unit declares a charge, if an enemy unit is the target of one of that charge, add 2 to the charge roll.
Another
So
gangbang.
it's a gangbang strat. The Rhino gets in, and then everyone gets +2 to charge.
Yeah, and
Actually, it can't be a Rhino. It has to be a character unit. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Everything has to be a character unit.
Yep.
but it'll help you get that Rhino in there, and that's the
Yeah, the
important
Rhino
thing.
now gets +2. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. But I mean, the nice thing is though, as long as you are targeting that unit as one for a charge, it does have utility. You can go charge a character unit in and then say, okay, this other unit that I really want to go fight that one a little bit farther away. As long as you dual declare, it now makes it 2 inches closer to that farther target. You
That's
just
true.
have to declare both. Like there is some use in here, but
Yeah, I could see Deep Striking Demon Prince getting a 7-inch charge could be kind of cool, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, not
I
great.
mean, 1 out of 6 ain't bad, right? One shitty 1 out of 6, not too bad.
yeah. Well, we'll see if the sixth one does stand up to it. Vengeful Surge, Frankie.
All right, this is a good one actually. This one's pretty good. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Emperor's Children character unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. After the attacking unit has shot, your unit can make a surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. Each model in your unit can move a distance in inches up to the result, but your unit must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of the enemy unit. If your unit is not your army's favored champions, you can reroll the dice to determine the distance. So, good one. It benefits your non-favored guys. You get shot at, you can go into combat. Again, this really shouldn't be something that ever happens, as good as it sounds, right? It's like the same as the World Eaters one. And if you're not being a dick, you're telling your opponent that this can happen. If they're closer than 6 inches to you, they're not shooting at you. In fact, they're not ever moving a shooting unit closer than 6 inches to you, because it's game changing when it happens. But honestly, if you're a decent human being, it just shouldn't happen that much, because you're telling your opponent this can happen.
Yeah, surge moves, I don't know. I feel like they've almost just basically been taking out of the game. I mean, the threat is there. The threat is still nice to have, but like it's so rare that anybody ever actually gets a surge move off and actually ends up into anything.
As soon as it gets you once as a player, you're like, well, that's never going to happen again.
And
Yeah.
it really shouldn't. At the stuff that we play at, like we're playing each other, we're playing other players who have tournament experience. It just shouldn't happen. The only time this should ever happen to you is if the player playing this is a new player and their entire strategy is built around this. They are not going to tell you that it can happen. You do it and it happens. That's the only way this should ever happen. And that's not cool, first of all. And people learn that that's not cool eventually, but
and it's just like as a rule and as an ability, this is totally fine with me being on data sheets. Surge moves
Yeah.
on data sheets say,
Yeah.
hey, watch out, I can do this. It's part of the threat range. But paying 1 CP, you're taking away strats from a detachment that could use any other tool.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, it just inherently makes detachments worse because it just, your threat of having it is now tied around something you're never going to get to use, and it's something that would cost you if you did use it.
It is funny. Reactive move, very good. Surge move, not good. Just they essentially are doing the same thing for different reasons, and the different reasons make them vastly different in their power.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen it come up usefully is like if you're on an objective, you're on the center of the objective, and the opponent has to come to the objective. Well, even if you're at the opposite end of the objective, you're still within 6. But if you're on like the center puck and they come on, it's like 2 inches away or whatever. So it's like you have, your super OC. You could have the super OC brick, the proud and vainglorious. You have like a OC a million tormentor unit on the objective, and they have to try to take the objective from you, and they're shooting only army and. Oh crap! Well, I can't shoot you with the only unit that can get there, But still, it shouldn't be tagging them, but but something to play around.
Any kind of meaningful shooting is going to kill the tormentor unit
Yeah.
anyway. So like meaningful shooting, like if someone's going to shoot a couple bolt pistols at you, you have to tell them that
Like,
your
don't do
guy's
that.
going to move on the objective. Like you can't not tell them. You have to tell them. You're like, I'm going to take this objective if you shoot me with 3 bolt pistols and kill one guy. Like even if you don't kill the guy, then I have to kill a guy. If you shoot me with 3 bolt pistols, I'm taking this objective.
Yeah, it's just odd. I mean, and at least this one actually works like surge moves. The Yanari little surge move that they got, at least that one was restricted to only what shot at it. So there was some more counterplay. This one, it is a great point, right? You can force people to try to come onto objectives and deny that. And it doesn't have to be the thing that shot at you. But the big thing now is with this one, generally, like, I'll still be like, screw it, I'll risk it. I'm going to be within 6. I'm not within 5, but I'm within, if you roll a 6, you can get to me. Since this has rerolls, you do not want to be within a 5-inch surge with a reroll. That's too likely. Even the 6 doesn't feel great. If it's that scenario Matt's talking about where they're all the way across the objective, you're just going to have to do what you're going to do. But
a 6 rerolling is still a 1 in 3 chance. It ain't bad, 1 in 3 chance.
A lone op demon prince could be interesting, on an objective. Nothing else can shoot it except for maybe the really close target. So it's like, well, if you shoot me at all, I'm going to tag you because, you're like 3 and you're trying to take the objective from me. So just don't shoot me and you die next turn, maybe something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it just doesn't help this detachment.
No, not really.
It doesn't do much to help it.
Yeah. But there's a lot of that going around in this detachment.
If any of you can make this work competitively, let us know.
And somebody's going to. And
someone's going to.
We're going to feel stupid. I'm not the smartest man in the world. Someone's going to make it work. And
it seems like you were doing so much harder. Like the work is so much harder in this detachment. You literally could play almost the same list and anything else. Whatever you decided to throw in here, throw it in something else. It would almost just do better.
Like, I want the characters anyways. The characters in this army are awesome. You're running a lot of characters, period. There's no incentive really here to run more.
Yeah. All right. So let's just do a quick little tier list of where you guys think these fall. Obviously, going right at the bottom, we got the Slanesh's Chosen just at the bottom. What do you guys feel like is probably the next attachment that struggles to really do what you need it to do?
I think Rapid Evisceration would be the
100%
next.
100% agree.
Yeah.
It has some cool tricks. It has some neat stuff it can do. It cannot kill anything. It has almost nothing to help you kill stuff except when you're getting out of rhinos. You get the reroll ones. That's what you get.
Yeah.
Then I think personally Coterie and Carnival are kind of like the next 2 together.
I'd say Carnival. I think Coterie's very good.
A little bit higher, yeah.
Coterie's probably number 1 for me now after playing a bunch of games, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's just go through. Matt, you go ahead and rank them where you feel like they are, and then we'll do Frankie, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'd put like Coterie and Carnival, at least with my limited experience, like B tier, and then I would put Peerless and Mercurial at the top. Personally, is kind of like from what I see in playing. And I actually got to play my first game with Emperors Children on Tuesday against Imperial Knights, which is a terrible matchup for them. And I was playing Mercurial, and I killed a big knight and 3 armigers the entire game. That's all I killed. He had most of his army left, but I had all the movement shenanigans, and that kept me in the game. And I won primary just from like reactive moving off objectives back into rhinos and just slamming into autocan armigers and then like falling back through them and chagging another one and just being obnoxious, And then like, oh, I'll go kill a character, assassin, and then when you come up, I'll reactive move back behind the wall with that 5-man. So now you have to come around the wall to fight me or whatever. So I think Mercurial for me, it's top tier. As a player personally, you guys had a video with Michael Mann just the other day that just because someone has success with something doesn't mean that you will have success with it. You have to build an army to units that you like, playstyle that you like, detachment stratagem suite that you like, right? So just because I like Mercurial and then Frankie likes Coterie doesn't mean that is the best. It's the best maybe for us, but that's the takeaway from it.
I think there's really good points about Mercurial, especially in all of the detachments. I think it has probably a very high ceiling and a real low floor too, because it doesn't have the killing power of Peerless or the potential killing power of Coterie, but it has a lot of good tricks for sure. A lot of real good tricks.
Yeah, it is by far, the most skill expression defined
I think so.
of any of them.
Yep. Yeah, I think my list is pretty close to Matt's here. Bottom, Slannesh, no question. Then Rapid, for the reasons that he already stated. Then probably Carnival. Yeah, definitely Carnival. In the number 4 spot, I think obviously Bo would disagree with me, and he's a good player. It's probably like Matt was saying before. It's his number 1. It's Bo's number 1, and for good reason. It leans into the way he likes to play, and so he's good with it. And for me, it has some. And don't get me wrong. I think that 4 out of these 6 can be very good. And I think Rapid. I personally don't know how I could get that to work. I'm sure someone will get it to work really well. And Slanesh's chosen is really the only one that I think is actually bad. But yeah, at the top for me, Peerless. Coterie is more fun to play for me, so I like it more. But I think Peerless just your infractors start off as lethal and sustained on the charge only, but it makes them infinitely more deadly to start with both of those things. They're so fast that you are getting the charge almost all the time. And the extra AP is a really, really big deal for this army. AP2 infractors is a lot deadlier than AP1 infractors.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the most powerful one.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, if you're just somebody who really wants to play more of a Achilles style, like that's kind of your go-to. You're trying to just kill things, make them dead, and that's your play style. Fearless and Coterie are definitely just both great options to kind of lean into that. Just a little bit more of, your choice of flavor. If you're wanting more of the reactive moves and all of the more skill expression shenanigans, as Matt was talking about, then Mercurial just really can be that for you. And if you like throwing fucking big demons and Fulgrim at people, just run Carnival. It definitely has something for everybody. And while there might be, an actual best meta choice, it's what you want to play and how you want to play that determines what is best for you as a player. And I'm so happy that this actually has multiple valid options within its book that really do feel different and do things in a way that actually let you as a player express your favored play style.
I think it's overall very well balanced in the meta, which is neat. It's a lot of times in Warhammer and other games you get the codex creep or the new detachment that comes out or new army that comes out is insanely overpowered but that is not here. I mean, I don't care. You have some tough matchups in this. You also have some easier matchups, but I think for the most part, because of your speed, because of your volume of attacks, you can hang with almost anything with this, which is cool, without blowing stuff out and without getting blown out.
Yeah, it has so many cool units. I'm so excited to play against you guys and get these models on the board. I mean, I know Matt, you were ecstatic about going to pick this box up, man. They look so cool. The rules are cool. It's just, I don't know. I think people are going to have fun playing it, and I think people are really going to have fun playing against it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and
very
I think
excited.
people do have fun. I've played 5 games with it now, and people do have fun playing against it. It's kind of like playing against Tyranids, like in that you get to kill a ton of stuff, which is super fun. Like even if I win, most of my army's dead for sure, almost every game. Like I get slaughtered, and that's super fun for anyone, like a new player, experienced player. You're like, ooh, I just picked up your whole army, and I'm like, oh, I won by 4 points. But there's always that, like, I think with this army you have that, like, your stuff is squishy. It can be deadly. Sometimes it's not as deadly as you want it to be, but like very fast, very squishy, super fun.
Yeah. It's going to be a good book. I'm so excited also for the other Chaos Detachments that are going to be coming out. We're going to be doing reviews of those as they come along, and the Space Wolves as well, which seem like they're right around the corner. So please keep tuning in. We are going to be going over all that stuff as they release, and we are going to be having even more of the awesome 40K community from here in Colorado joining us. Thanks again to Matt and Frank for coming on, and it's just always good to hang with the boys and talk to some 40K. So I had a blast today. Hope you guys did too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and here at Mastercrafted, don't forget that victory isn't given, it's forged, and we'll see y'all next time.